Ka BJP hakakalay tarik urempang arajar arkun Rio kala penlong ya ke Jingpynshai bagi nong patai ku buara Shillong banai Jingpynshai halor ka Union Budget arajar arkun Rio khamtam ka iadei mat ke Jylla Meghalaya. Hagani ke Jingpynshai Devesh Kumar ubadai kemi ya ka thanchtilam mi bat ka Shazia ilmi ka badai ka nong ai ktien jangseng BJP hakari kila penshai bagani ka mang tengka kalong kesenjam ka bakrau ban penkalai ke India syakari ka ban kieu bat ka bandan ke Jingroy hapok kesnem arajar sa punyo Devesh Kumar ulasat gimat pedang di bapeniat ya kania ka mang tengka kum ka antyodaya ka jingtmu menkentiu ya kibuduna tam bat ki badan hadin tam hak em lang salang Lightly ki kamram men priang ya kaspa men kentiu ya ki bod ginong song ba ban ai bha ka berengkat ya baro ulong bana ke jingerap bisa ke sorkar menta kala jingmut ha ka capital expenditure ke balakiau na kalai point not nyo laklur ha keslam arajar kat pra kat kendai jaga kat ar point rr laklur ha kene kamang tengka ke bamenta Ka Shazia ilmi kala kedau bagi Jingpynshai pisai ke Meghalaya kala kieu kumba sausha na duk sem arajar kat sau. Kimat bakong san na gebenta ke Jylla Meghalaya kilong baga Meghalaya kan yo kandai hajar terus pak lai puai kelur tengka ke belong ke pisah bagi Jylla kala aban pedan kam kat kum ke jing dan kam ne ki untight fun. Lamang arajar nyo spa lai kelur tengka na gebenta sispa nyo 4 kilometer ki surok ba. Ang ta prapu pratlik surok nong kendong bat samsantri jingkieng kilong di balamang pisah ban peneso ya ki jaka ki bajingai. Haga bedai baga IT ke jingtu ban kentiu ke IT Park Atura ban penmi kam penmi jam na bentak samla. Kelong bahado menta kendai lak ki akaun haga jan bahan lapleha Meghalaya. Arway point saulak ki Ayushman Bharat Card ladap shna na bentak jing sumare. Iway point san lak tam ginong rep ke yo ke jingarap haka PM Kisan bat lai point iwain riulak kilong yeng kilayo ya ka gas LPG lengbag ujwala yojana. Sarkar pedang kapan skam bak India kan omla banroi la daga than stela mingi kamroi. Kani kamang tengka kalong ban penkelai kathan na ka look east chaka act east da ka jing pla jing mot ha ka jing chong changan ki emlang salang bat ki kampanroi ki bane.
Activity is something very important and crucial to Meghalaya's development. Bharatmala Pariyojana corridors, development of 170 kilometers of national highways in Meghalaya with sanction cost of 2,703 crores to improve connectivity in the state. Let's look at now Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, very important. Now look at this, the rural roadways, now the 88 rural roads totaling of 782 kilometers and 55 bridges to strengthen the rural connectivity. Let's look at the new IT park that is being talked about and it's already been sanctioned. It is in Tura. Foundation stone has been laid under central support to promote digital infrastructure and jobs. Let's look at big projects like Dhubri Phulbari Bridge. One of India's longest it will be. It will significantly transform Meghalaya's access to markets and trade routes. So Meghalaya right now has 2 Swadesh Darpan projects sanctioned under the scheme overall. Total amount that has been sanctioned is 184 crores, a little more than that rupees, out of which all the amount has already been released and utilized is also quite a bit, which is 176 crores, so to speak. Now this reflects the central funding flow towards tourism and the commitment the centre has towards Meghalaya development under Swadesh Darshan for the state. So when we look at the entire Northeast circuit, you see how many projects have been there. When you look at tourism infrastructure of Umiam Lake and nearby circuits, traditional healing, tribal rejuvenation centers, tourist information centers, multi-purpose hall, gift shops, souvenir shops, water spots, trekking routes, canopy walks, last mile connectivity, and solid waste facilities. A lot of money has been given, and this project was inaugurated by the Chief Minister of Meghalaya in 2019.
In Meghalaya and other parts of the country. So this was one significant feature of the budget which took place after the pandemic. And continuing with the welfare schemes, our, one of the founder ideologues of the party, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, he enunciated a concept called Antyodaya. And Antyodaya is that the last man in the queue, last man in the society, has to benefit from the government schemes. So the government is working on that philosophy that the last man standing in the queue should benefit from the uh, whatever measures the government is taking. Antyodaya is one philosophy, guiding philosophy of the budget. And so because with that guiding philosophy, our finance minister spoke of three kartavyas, which which bind our union budget. One is to take on India on the road to prosperity. Second is to scale up the capacity of the people of India. And third is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, means to give equal opportunities to all people of the society, all segments of the society. So with this philosophy in mind, our Union Minister Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman enunciated the budget, and it also has other measures which all are, which follow from the guiding principles, the three kartavyas, like the push being given to the industrial sector, push being given to employment generation. There are so many measures which have been enunciated, which have been highlighted in the budget. The new age economy, data centers, artificial intelligence, pharmaceuticals, biochemicals, so biotech, all these new age economy, because India, we have to, our Prime Minister talks of Viksit Bharat, which is a developed India by 2047. And we cannot develop without competing with the rest of the world in the emerging technologies. So there's a significant push to emerging technologies, the employment generation, like I said, capital expenditure, seven new dedicated freight corridors. So all these would end up, the government thinks, and we hope so, I'm sure, will give a fillip to industrial sector, to empowerment of women, youth, and the farming sector, the farmers, the andatas, as our Prime Minister is so fond of saying. They are the ones who produce food for the rest of the population. So the entire budget follows from this philosophy. There's a significant portion which is devoted to the development of the Northeast, because our Prime Minister believes sincerely that India cannot grow until the Northeast of India grows. So he first talked of Look East, and now he talks of the Act East policy.
And if you look at overall the budget 2026, it empowers Meghalaya through a higher tax devolution. And now we're looking at 9,600 crores given to the state, which is untied funds, specifically for states' development. So 9,600 crores specifically as untied funds, more flexibility, and of course, which means greater responsibility. What does that translate into? What does this 9,600 crores mean to a citizen of Meghalaya, to you and me, to every brother and sister of Meghalaya? Connectivity. We're looking at hill areas, feeder roads, and which is also and the digital backbone. Tourism as a year-round livelihood. I had the privilege and the pleasure to go to Doki, and I just saw how beautiful it was. Can you imagine how important it can be as an economy and as livelihood for our local brothers and sisters? So it just shouldn't be a seasonal income, but a year-long livelihood. Agri-value addition, which means processing, branding, and exporting. Youth skilling and entrepreneurship, very, very important. So migration is a choice. It is not a compulsion. Friends, earlier budgets have failed, and I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying that they were wrong to do it or they did not plan it better. Intentions, I'm not saying were wrong, but the delivery systems were very weak. So what at the center, what has been done under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi ji is that the delivery systems have become so much better and leakage free. So 2014, you all know, and I want to give a small perspective. It's important for us to give you the overall, the vision that we started with Jam Trinity, Jandhan Yojana, Aadhaar, and mobile telephony. Wherever I go in the interiors, and even whether I was a boatman or the chai wala, and I love the lal chai here, everybody had the UPI, and I could pay through my phone, and I think that's huge because everybody is connected. So if you look at overall in India, what the central welfare schemes have done, I will tell you how much there has been a transformation in terms of just the poor having access to the banking sector, financial inclusion. 56 crore Jandhan accounts, this is all over India. Direct benefit transfers, more than 52 crore of Mudra loans, and of course Swachh Bharat, you all know about it, more than 12 crore households have benefited. Now, and of course, Ayushman Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, 55 crore citizens. Now, let's come to Meghalaya. And in Meghalaya, I want to say this with a lot of joy that over 30 crore unorganized workers are now registered on the e-Shram portal. And more than half are women. And where the Ayushman cards are concerned, in Meghalaya itself, 21.4 lakh Ayushman cards have been created. And when it comes to PM Kisan Samman Yojana, you all know about it, how every Annadata, every farmer and a producer is given an honorable amount as honorarium amount. That the number is huge, and that is 1,50,413. So those many farmers have got the Samman Yojana, the benefit of which, because of which, on a yearly basis, they get that honorarium, that amount, which helps them. PM Jandhan Yojana, 9 lakh, and more than 9 lakhs, the number has gone up. These are slightly dated figures. So more than 9 lakh beneficiaries of Jandhan Yojana are in Meghalaya. Let's look at Jylla Yojana. This is amazing. We know how people suffered, and sometimes here also I see using the older chulas. But now there are more than 3,16,157 beneficiaries and families and mothers and sisters who benefit from Ujjwala Yojana. Har ghar jal, har ghar nal. Har ghar nal se jal. 5.2 lakh rural households have benefited from the central welfare schemes, all created and envisaged by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his team. When it comes to Awas Yojana, let's look at the urban numbers. And we look at urban numbers, there have been 4,554 eligible and sanctioned beneficiaries. And as I told you, the Mudra Yojana, 14,000 people in Meghalaya have benefited from Mudra Yojana, and 186 crore rupees have been sanctioned against Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana to support small entrepreneurs and self-employed individuals and citizens of Meghalaya.